So, Tucker Carlson wants to lecture us on illegal immigration. Let's begin.
As late as 2006, there were still liberals who cared about the economic effects of immigration, legal or illegal. Immigration reduces the wages of domestic workers who compete with immigrants, explained economist Paul Krugman in the New York Times. We'll need to reduce the inflow of low-skilled immigrants. Mainly that means better controls on illegal immigration. That same year, Senator Hillary Clinton voted for a fence on the Mexican border. So did Barack Obama and Chuck Schumer and 23 other Senate Democrats.
Okay, so he kind of oversimplified two actually very big policy topics. So let's get back to where he said illegal immigration brings down the wages of American workers. That's mostly not true. And I'll say this: if you are in an industry or a job or whatever where your competition, or rather you feel competition from illegal immigrants, people who do not have a green card, people who don't have a social security number, okay, people who don't have any legal documentation that allows them to legally be employed in the United States of America, okay, and if you feel competition from this subset of people, then I think it says a lot about you, actually. In the sense that you really need to, if you're an American citizen, you need to significantly improve your life. And I have a personal anecdote about this. When I was in my younger days, I used to work at McDonald's. I used to make minimum wage at McDonald's, and there wasn't a single day where I feared for my job. There wasn't a single day where I thought an illegal immigrant was gonna walk through the door and take my job. Okay, it simply never happened. So I'll just leave that at that. Now, in terms of reality, in terms of facts, um, what's bringing down the wages of the American worker is simply the fact that we have these mega conglomerates, these big international corporations who are not loyal to any country. Okay, they are international corporations. These corporations have bought senators and congresswomen, men and women, and they've bought various presidents, whether they were Democrats or Republicans. And these people wanted one thing and one thing only, or two things rather: lower regulations, and they fought tooth and nail to make sure minimum wage wasn't raised one single penny. The federal minimum wage hasn't gone up in decades. Okay, if you look at the federal minimum wage now, it's laughable how low it is. There's no possible way one can survive on that. It's just impossible. All right, and they have made sure that workers in this country do not have a government that advocates for them and that makes sure that their best interests are looked after for. Because at the end of the day, your employer, their number one job is to make money. Their number one job is not you. Okay, their number one job is to look after the interests of either the CEO, the shareholders, or the management. It's not you. I'm sorry. And that's what's bringing down wages in this country. It's not the illegal immigrant. It is invisible corporations, wealthy individuals. These are the people that are responsible for making sure that your paycheck does not go as far as it should.
Not anymore. 20.
As for the fence, Hillary, Obama, Chuck Schumer, whomever, they wanted a fence in strategic areas. Donald Trump wants a fence from the Pacific Ocean all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, he doesn't want a fence. He wants a wall. He wants a wall that he said Mexico was going to pay for. Okay, that is, so Tucker's not being honest here.
Years after Bill Clinton told Americans they had the right to be upset about illegal immigration, his wife scolded the country for enforcing border controls. So what changed? Not the economics of it. The law of supply and demand remained in effect. It's not a coincidence that as illegal immigration surged, wages for American workers stagnated. What changed is that Democrats stopped caring about those workers, about the middle.
It's not that Democrats stopped caring. It's the fact that the U.S. government and the people in authority stopped looking after the interests of the American worker. This is true of both Republicans and this is true of Democrats. If you just look at the recent tax scam that Trump signed, they said that workers would get a raise, that the trickle down economics, that some of the wealth would trickle down like urine almost down to the worker, and that we would see the rewards of it. And that simply hasn't happened. I mean, Donald Trump is always talking about how good the economy is doing, right? But the fact of the matter is, wages in this country have stagnated, and in many cases, they've declined when you adjust for inflation. And all of that, it's not due to the illegal immigrant. It is because of wealthy individuals, global mega corporations who are not loyal to any country, buying politicians in the form of campaign contributions. That is the root cause of it.
Middle class, really. Why? Here's the answer in 4 simple facts. 1. According to a recent study from Yale, there are at least 22 million illegal immigrants living in the United States. 2. Democrats plan to give all of them citizenship. Read the Democrats' 2016 party platform. 3. Studies show the overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. 4. The biggest landslide in American presidential history was only 17 million votes. Do the math. The payoff for Democrats? Permanent electoral majority for the foreseeable future. In a word, power. That's the point, no matter what they tell you. American workers be damned. I'm Tucker Carlson.
It's actually not true. First of all, it's even Republicans have gone on record, right, of saying this, that it would be impossible to deport 11 million, 22 million, whatever the number may be, that many people. It's just simply impossible, and realistically, it's never going to happen. It's just never, ever going to happen. Anybody who thinks that every single illegal immigrant in this country is going to be rounded up and sent back to Mexico or to wherever they are from, they're just living in a fantasy. It's just not going to happen. The vast majority of illegal immigration is from visa overstays. Now, my question is, what is the Trump administration doing about that? What is the Trump administration doing about people who come from Europe, who come from Asia, who are overstaying their visas? Why is he so focused on people who are crossing the border illegally when, according to ICE, the vast majority of illegal immigration comes from people coming from an airport, hopping off a plane, and not leaving when they are supposed to? That is my question to Tucker and his allies. Signing off.